Welcome to this week's edition of Red Devil Roundup, and today we are previewing the fall sport football. I'll go ahead and let my first guest introduce himself. I have a feeling you probably are going to know who he is.
How you doing? Joe Prince, head coach of Owensboro football.
Coach Prince, obviously football, huge interest around here. You know, big sport, a lot of history with Owensboro football. I guess just kind of start there. I mean, this place is built literally on a tradition of excellence.
We've been around a long time, since about 1892. Matter of fact, we win 11 games. We're 11 games away from 700 wins. And so this could be a big year for us. That's one of our goals. And we expect a lot out of our kids on and off the field. We try to build our team around character and then let talent come in and make a factor. And we've always had some talent. And our kids are working real hard, and we strive every year to win the state. I mean, this has been excellence is a part of our school motto, and it's part of our football motto.
Sure. You guys are out here, of course, in July. The season doesn't start for a while, but kind of why do you guys get a head start out here? You know, you got to battle some of the heat, but, you know, why is it important to go ahead and get them ready now?
Well, we give them a month off. We're one of the few teams that does that in the state, but I feel that we work really hard in the winter in the workouts, and then we have our spring ball, and then we go about 2 weeks in June, and then I give them a month off. The kids have got to be kids still, and they've got to enjoy themselves a little bit. But the disadvantage of that is we come in out of shape usually. I mean, let's face it, a kid's not going to push himself as hard as a coach is going to push them. But there's some other advantages. I want them to go out and have all that fun and do their traveling and summer vacation stuff, and then when they come back in, we're going to work them real hard and try to get them in shape, and we're getting close to that.
A lot of talk this year about you know, the talent level that's coming in. I know you're expecting probably a good season. Kind of talk about that. I mean, what's the team going to be like this year? I think that's the biggest question that people want to know.
Well, from one standpoint, we had a good year last year, and we started so many young kids last year. Went to the regional finals, and we're a play away from going to the semifinals, and so that adds a lot of expectation for this year because we got so many returning starters. We have like 15 or 16 kids that started at some point last year returning, so that's high hopes. But the disadvantage of that is kids think that what they did last year is going to help them this year. Well, that's not always true. You got to forget last year, and we got to take this year for what it is. If we don't have any injuries and we have the right framework and keep getting better like we did last year, it could be a very exciting year.
And we're back with head football coach Joe Prince here at Owensboro High School. Coach Prince, kind of talk about, you know, you mentioned as far as, you know, you started a lot of young kids. You're getting a little older this year. You having a couple more people that are older in the class that are going to play this year?
Yes, our offensive line this year, we've got a lot of guys coming back. We have 6 that started at some point, and out of that 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are seniors, you know, and that's always nice. When you're good in the offense and defensive line, I feel like that can mold your season. Also, we got some players like Logan Blue, linebacker and tight end. I feel like he's as good as anybody in the state, if not better than 90% of them at least. He might be the best linebacker in the state. So that helps. Kristen Woods, who is a senior, I think he's as good as anybody. There's very few that have his explosiveness on the field. He could change a game with just his presence on the D-line, and he's a very good offensive line. Nick Locker was a skinny sophomore last year. He's put a lot of weight on. He's put 30 pounds of good solid weight. He's strong. You know, he benches like 255, and that's unheard of for a quarterback. But he did a good job last year managing the game, and hopefully this year he does more than just manage. Hopefully he takes over on the offense. We expect him with his strength to be able to throw wide field throws and down the field. So it's an advantage when kids get a year older. It's really a senior-junior game. I mean, you know, you can run cross country and be good as a freshman, but it's hard to be a freshman or sophomore and be good in football because there's so much pounding and the older guys you go against. So it's real nice this year that we have some older kids, and they're bigger and stronger and faster, and we have more depth, and that's going to help us in the long run.
This year, like you were saying, more depth. As far as the city is panning out, always pretty competitive here, especially with Owensboro Catholic, the big rivals. Kind of what's the game plan this year? Are we going to be seeing a lot of passes? Are we going to be seeing a lot of running, a good combination, a good mixture? What do you see this playing out as?
Well, we're always a run-oriented team, and the reason we're a run-oriented team is we base our game plan on defense, kicking game, and then offense. If you got a great defense and a great kicking game, which we need to work on, but if you have those two things, if your offense won't turn the ball over, you're always in the game, even if it's you're outmatched. And so we've always gone with that philosophy, but our offense this year, we're going to open it up more, and we have more playmakers, and so we're trying to get the ball to several different people because some of them are young, but we still feel like if we can open up and get the ball moved around, it'll be a lot harder to stop our run, and therefore we should be more effective running the ball.
Makes sense. Is there anything else you'd want to let people know at home, that are watching this, just about the upcoming season?
Well, I'd like everybody to know our first home game. We have a scrimmage the 16th of August here against Hopkinsville at 6 o'clock. Our first home game will be Catholic, the third game. So that'll be our first one. You need to get your tickets and see Chris Gaddis or call him at 686-1084. Also, next Thursday, August 1st, we're having our O Club, and I invite everybody. We have a database we send out to people who've joined in the past, but we'd like to expand that. We're having ice cream social, and it's going to be over at one of our supporters' house, and if you are interested in that, give me a call at 686-1110 or email me at joe.prince@owensboro.kyschools.us. Get in touch with me, is what I'm trying to say. Everybody knows I'm usually here all day. And then I got a question for you, Dave. I want to know why the interviewee gets to sit in this little chair and you get to sit in the captain's chair.
Well, Coach Prince, these chairs are meant for certain size people, and you're just a little bigger than me. And, we don't want to break a chair in here. I'm sure Central Office, Dr. Brake probably wouldn't be real happy if I broke a chair on my first football interview.
And we don't need any football bloopers either.
Absolutely. Well, coming up right after the break, we'll hear from another Owensboro football player. Stay tuned. And we're back with this week's edition of Red Devil Roundup, and right now I've got a Owensboro football player. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
My name is Christian Woods from Owensboro. I'm number 54, defensive end and left tackle.
Christian or Kristen? Kristen, okay. Kristen, just kind of talk a little bit about this season. I know you all are getting a head start out here in summer. It's a little hot, but I know you've got to put in the extra work.
Well, we all been getting out here, and everybody's been working hard, and we're just getting extra running in for everybody can be in shape. And I mean, we're looking forward to the season and getting farther in the playoffs because we got stopped short by Warren East and everything like that. And I think we'll be like the best team we've ever been, and everybody's been working hard, and even our freshmen has been doing good. So I think we should be fine this year.
I was going to say, one thing that I was talking to Coach Prince about earlier is, a little bit of an older team. People, you started off a lot of young guys last year. You've developed, especially on the line. As far as, putting in this extra work, first off, what position do you play, and do you play offense or defense?
I play both ways, defensive end and left tackle.
Defensive end and left tackle. So you're on the line in the trenches. Kind of talk about what it takes to be in there, because it's not the prettiest thing, but I mean, you all are putting in a lot of hard work, and a lot of time don't get the glory that maybe some of the skill guys get.
I think it's just like the attitude you have, and like just believe that nobody can stop you. Like if you just come in there scared, you're never going to be able to handle it in the trenches. And it doesn't matter how big you are or fast you are. You just got to try hard and then listen to your coaches and use your technique, and you should be fine.
Talk about some of that technique. You guys are out here doing a lot of drills. Some people might not know exactly what you're doing, but what's first off, what's your favorite drill, and how do you think that's going to help you in a game?
I just like we do a figure 8 drill where we have to weave around these tires. It just helps when you're getting around the edges when you're pass rushing. And then we do a lot of hand placement drills where we punch and use our hands, because that's all D-line and offensive line is about, hands and feet. So that's what we do mainly, just to see and use quickness in our hands and feet, and that's all we do.
You mentioned that, we came up a little short last year, and that kind of left a bitter taste in the guys' mouths, and you really, used that for inspiration this year. where do you see yourselves this year? I mean, like I said, an older team, you're out here working hard. You know, a lot of talk around the city about how good Owensboro is going to be. I mean, where do you guys see yourselves with that?
I see us getting deep in the playoffs, and if we just don't make these mental mistakes that we did last year, we should be far in the playoffs, and we should be able to go all the way this year.
What would you want to tell people at home this year? I mean, I know, you know, Rash Stadium is a popular place. You always get a big crowd. But, you know, what would you want to tell people at home about this upcoming season?
I would just love to tell everybody just to come out and just stay positive and be at every single game, home game and away games. Just try to make it and just show support for us, because that's all we love is support from our hometown. That's all we love. That's all we want.
Absolutely. Well, coming up next, we'll hear from another Red Devil football player. And we're back here on Red Devil Roundup featuring the boys football team. I have a new player up. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
My name's Nick Locker. I am a junior.
You're a junior here at Owensboro High School. What position do you play, Nick?
Quarterback and outside linebacker.
Nick, of course, at the quarterback role, you know, you have a lot of pressure on you. You're the leader of the offense. Kind of just talk about what goes into that.
Just a lot of preparation and practice time and making sure the guys are ready when games come.
Nick, looking at you last year, you know, kind of a skinny kid out there playing quarterback. You've put on some muscle. You've put on some size. Talk about, you know, how that happened. I'm sure it didn't just, you know, occur overnight.
We had a very good weightlifting program this winter and spring. We had a very productive spring, and we all worked hard, and we all got stronger and bigger.
Kind of talk a little bit about, you know, what goes into playing quarterback. I mean, obviously, you have to be the leader of the team. You have to always know what's going on. Just kind of let people know at home, you know, what it's like to be the leader that out there on the offense.
You just have to trust your coaches and trust the players around you and not let things get to you. Sometimes you get too much credit, and then sometimes you get too much blame, but you just have to play the game.
Being a junior this year, right? Junior this year. How have you changed from your sophomore year?
Just looking to be more of a leader and lead through actions and put more work ethic on teammates and have us work hard throughout the whole off season.
Coming into this upcoming season, of course, you know, a lot of expectations. You know, goals are high. You know, you did really well in the playoffs last year, looking obviously to advance this year. What can people expect out of the team this season? You know, now that you're more mature, you're a little older.
Just more fluid on offense and very good defense, and we should be able to compete with everybody we play.
Absolutely. Well, coming up next, you'll hear from another Red Devil football player right after this break. And we're back on Red Devil Roundup previewing the football team here at Owensboro High School. I've got a new player up. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
My name's Logan Blue. I'm a senior at Owensboro High School. I play inside linebacker and tight end.
Logan, I guess the first thing that you notice if you follow football here at Owensboro High School is you're a lot bigger. You know, kind of talk about how that happened. You know, talk a little bit about some of the work that you put into the off season.
Well, we started in the winter, and we had a structured weight program in our new facility. You know, we had the 7 a.m. lifting as well as the after-school lifting, and you know, you just kind of went whatever was best for your schedule. You know, myself, I went in the morning, and I had my partner, Nick Locker. You know, we all had our own partners that would help us push each other. And, you know, it just helped us to get ready for the season. And also, I saw a lot of improvements in every player.
I was going to say, that new facility you guys got, it seems like it's really producing some results. Seems like, you know, I guess you could say it was money well spent.
I would agree with that statement. You know, before the equipment was not up to par with, you know, today's standards, and now we have this new facility, and I really think it's helping all the players, and it even can benefit other sports too.
Now lifting weights, you know, once, twice a week, you know, that's good and all, but I mean, you guys are in there a lot. Just kind of talk about, you know, how much time you really put into this.
Well, every day in the off season we would go Monday through Thursday. We would get at least an hour of weight training in, then towards the spring football season, we would put in some after programs on the field doing agilities and some speed training. So, I mean, we probably put in a good 4 to 5 hours a week just in weight training and agility.
Of course, Friday nights, you know, is when everybody comes out and you know, sees what you guys are doing. This upcoming year, you know, what do you expect from the team?
I mean, I expect big things from the team this year. and I'm ready to get the season started.
Ready to get the season started. It's summer, it's hot, it's July. I'm sure, it's not always the most glamorous or most fun thing to be out here, but why is it important that you guys are out here working hard?
Well, I mean, right now doing these 2 days, every hour you're out here, it's just going to make the season easier. It's going to pay off during the games. And when you're working hard out here, it'll make the games more enjoyable when you're out there winning.
Absolutely, and winning, of course, is a tradition here at Owensboro High School. Logan, you mentioned that you play linebacker. Coach Prince has some pretty high praise for you. What does it take to be a good linebacker?
Well, I mean, a lot of it is just working hard in practice, learn your technique, listen to your coaches, and, making sure you read the offense. You make sure your drops are correct, make sure you take the right first step so you're not playing a second slow. Just trusting your instincts sometimes helps too.
Kind of a big question here and kind of a loaded question, but why do you play football? What is it about this sport that you enjoy the most?
Well, I mean, ever since I've grown up, I've always liked competition, and one of the sports I started playing was football, and ever since then, I've liked to just be on the field competing, and I like being on a team player, because when you're with a team, you feel responsible for everyone else, and I like to rather win as a team than just win by myself. So football's a good sport for that.
Sure. It's your senior season, your last chance. Kind of talk about, your expectations for what you guys are going to do this year.
Well, I'd like to, first hopefully we can get the city-county title back to Owensboro, and then also I would like to win district again as outright, and then hopefully we can make a long playoff run this season.
Sure. And, of course, we'll be here covering the Red Devils all season as they try to make those playoffs hopes become a reality. For this week's edition of Red Devil Roundup, I'm Dave Kirk. Thanks for watching.